Hello friends, in this new chapter we're going to study on air, water and soil. You may remember them from the previous chapter as biological factors in an ecosystem. Ecology, as I recall, it is the science which studies the relationship of living organisms between each other and with their environment. So this air, water and soil also is a part of ecology, and we start with air. Air is the common name used for gases that surround the earth, and it helps organisms to breathe and to provide a place for movement and living. Not only flying in air, we move on ground, also we are in air, but we are on land. You can compare it with moving in water and moving on land. Atmosphere, it is a layer of gases that surround the Earth, and it's retained by gravity. The gravity force help pull us and we stay on land, also not allow atmosphere to separate from the Earth. It protects the life on Earth by absorbing UV light which are harmful, come from the sun and can cause different diseases in skin, but atmosphere protect us. Warming the Earth's surface by greenhouse effect, the temperature which coming from the sun, all of it not reflect from the Earth's surface, but some of them remain by atmosphere. Reducing the temperature extreme between day and night also, and it contains about 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% CO2 and others. Atmosphere layers. There are five atmospheric layers. The first one is troposphere. It is the closest layer of Earth. All the weather like raining, snowing occurs in this layer. Stratosphere. It is the second layer of Earth and mainly affected by volcanic gases. Mesosphere, which is middle layer, is most of the meteors, which are big pieces of snow coming from sky, are burned in this layer. Thermosphere, it has the high temperature than other layers, and the exosphere, which is the outermost layer, most of the satellite, and we see in the picture as spin in this layer around the Earth. What we need to know, we need these names of atmospheric layers in order from in to out or from out to in. Oxygen cycle, as you remember, we said oxygen about the 21% in air. All organisms need oxygen. It's the most important element required to sustain life. Why? Because we need oxygen to burn food and produce energy. Air pollution or lack of exercise prevent taking enough oxygen. So to get enough oxygen, we need what? We need physical exercises, and we need to save our environment. Deficiency of oxygen makes body weak because no energy can be produced without oxygen. Harmful microbes cause different diseases, and oxygen helps body to destroy these microbes indirectly because it produces energy for body for to fight these microbes. Most of oxygen comes from the oceans. As you remember from the previous chapter, we said about 92% of oxygen come from the oceans produced by microorganisms, and only some of this oxygen in atmosphere is produced by green plants. Our body can produce energy, as we said, only if it burns food by oxygen. One main disease caused by lack of oxygen is cancer. We must increase the greenlands and decrease the pollution, especially in oceans and seas, to have what? A fresh breath. From this picture also we can see the oxygen cycle. It's cycling never finish because between what? Between green plants, animals and human. At presence of sunlight, plants by photosynthesis produce food and oxygen and release out this oxygen which is captured by animals, and humans use it, and then they give out CO2, carbon dioxide also, which is captured by plants, and back by photosynthesis they release oxygen. The carbon cycle. All living things are made up of carbon. It looks like some interesting, don't it? In the atmosphere, carbon is attached to the some oxygen in a gas called carbon dioxide. One carbon and two oxygen. Plants use carbon dioxide and sunlight to make their own food by photosynthesis, and dead plants gradually buried in soil may turn into fossil fuels made up of carbon like coal and oil and over millions of years. And as you know, in Kirkuk we have most of this oil. It is a parts or remnants of dead living things before millions of years. When humans burn fossil fuel, most of the carbon quickly enters the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas which is trapped the temperature to stay on Earth, and the temperature, global temperature on Earth increases. But humans have burned so much fuel and Earth become a warmer place because the carbon dioxide rate increased. In fact, ice cores show us that there is now more carbon dioxide in atmosphere than before by their melting. From this picture we can look at the carbon cycle, which is start from what? From the plants. By photosynthesis, they capture carbon dioxide from air, turn into the food, and this food is captured by animals. And animals become part of animal, the animal dead, and the body decay, change, pass into the soil, become fossil fuels. This fossil fuels then used by factories, they burn it, and the burn it become carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. So like this carbon cycle turn between living organisms. Nitrogen cycle, which is the most abundant type of gas in atmosphere, about 78%. But we, during inhalation, mean taking in and giving out what we get in of nitrogen. Also we take it out because we do not use nitrogen which we get from the atmosphere. But we get nitrogen we need from what? From food we eat. Most of plants get nitrogen from soil and some of them get nitrogen from air. Nitrogen helps plants to grow very fast. So, the fertilizer given to the plants to make them grow faster, and it's because these fertilizers contain nitrogen. Nitrogen cycle also can be summarized in this picture. As we said in number one, by lightening some of the nitrogen is fixed in soil to be used by plants. In second, we can see a bag of fertilizer. It can be artificial or natural fertilizer used for plants to grow. In number three, we see this nitrogen pass into the plants. And by number four, pass to the cow. Cow ate this plants, so the nitrogen pass and become a part of cow. Then in number five, give out wastes. The wastes of animals also they are natural fertilizer which rich in nitrogen and useful for plants to grow faster. But in number six, when we say a dead animal, after period of time, the body of dead animals is decay or burned and transformed into the soil by decomposer, what we studied in previous chapter, and become a part of soil. In number seven, we can see and then again it pass and mix with air, nitrogen, and the cycle turns. Water cycle. Water is the most important maybe element on earth for humanity. It's a tasteless, odorless, and colorless liquid. It has different forms of earth like ice caps in poles, snow and glaciers at the top of high mountains, sometimes in lakes and streams like rivers, but also especially as in Kirkuk, the underground water. Water vapor in atmosphere, which is evaporated from sea or lakes and rivers. Most of water on Earth is on the oceans. As we know, 3 over 4 part of our Earth is water, and most of this water in oceans, but it's salty. Water cannot be used directly by human. Water is always on move. The sun energy causes water to evaporate. Evaporation means changing from liquid form to gas form. So the water evaporate from oceans and lakes and pass into the atmosphere. Plants and animals also release water vapor into the atmosphere as they breathe. So in winter, when we closely give out or breath over surface of a glass, we can see the drops of water are appear on it. So it's proof that we give out water vapor. When the atmosphere cools, water vapor, which is evaporated before changed from liquid to gas form, condenses. Condensation means the water change from the gas form, which is water vapor, into a liquid form again, like flowing water, making clouds that might be produce rain, or even if it is colder, change into the snow and back to the earth surface. In this way, the cycle turns. It is the consisting of just two, like chemical formula of water, two hydrogen atoms attached to one single oxygen. Importance of water. Although we use it to drink it, wash, fish, and swim, and also in cooking. Drafts cause famines. Droughts when there is not enough water and the lands change like what? Change like a desert. Famines when there is no enough food for living things in that area because of drought. No plants can grow. There is no plants. It's food of animal, no animals, and also all living things on this part of earth suffer from hunger. Maybe floods where there's a lot of water after raining is stream and also can cause death and different diseases. So more water have danger, less water also have danger. It makes up over about half of us. Without it, we die within a few days. As you remember, we said without oxygen we can live only for minutes. Without water, for only for a few days we can survive. In this picture, we can see some benefits of staying hydrated, means drinking enough water, like muscle fuel. Muscles not use directly water to produce energy, but they need amount of water to burn the food and produce the energy. By drinking enough water, we can have a clearer skin and a soft skin. Productivity boost because most of body activities they all depend on water. When the water percentage decrease until a certain level or metabolic activities slow down, even they stop. Toxic remover when we drink enough water by urination or sweating in summer especially we give out toxic materials which are accumulated in our body. Joints grazer, it facilitates the movement of our joint to do physical exercises. Brain boost, one of the most important thing for brain is water. So as water decrease, also the brain activities slow down. Calorie control, drinking water have no calorie, so we never gain weight with water. Blood normalizer, we know blood is a liquid and about half of our blood also water. Fatigue buster, fatigue getting very tired. So when we drink water, the water remove the toxic materials accumulated in our muscles and our tiredness pass. Water pollution. In previous chapter also we little studied about the pollution. We said it is accumulation of unwanted substance in environment, maybe air or soil or water. So water pollution is the contamination of water bodies. Means accumulation of unwanted substance, maybe chemicals or physical materials come together in water. It affects the all living thing in relation with water, from fish which swim in water and the human which use this water, they all affected by. So in this picture we can see most of the products which produced by human, they contaminate water and cause water pollution. But how can we help our environment to save the water? In our family, there are much things we can do to reduce using water and prevent contamination, means pollution of water. Never throw rubbish away in any way to pollute the environment. Use water wisely. How? Do not keep the tap running when not in use. Like what? Like when we brush our teeth for 2 minutes, we can close the taps. Or for washing cars, not using this continuously streaming water. If there are leaks, which water drops come out of the taps, we can fix them to prevent water loss. In bathing and washing also we can decrease the used amount of water by taking shorter showers and full loads. Do not throw chemicals, oils, paints and medicines down to sink, drain or the toilet because if there are no chemicals in water it can be reused, but when contaminated we can almost no organism can use this water again and it's not reusable. Buy more environmentally safe cleaning liquids and cleaning material we use at home. How they contain less chemical substance, it is better for environment. The soil is a complex mixture of minerals, water, air, organic matter. Organic matter means mainly dead part of living things and countless organisms like ants or different kind of insects. They are dead that are decaying remains of once living things. It forms the surface of land. It's like what? Like skin of earth. Like what you remember from the earth layers, the outermost one was the crust, and on the surface of crust is soil. Soil layers, if we dig down deep into the soil, not all of part is same, but we see the soil is made up of different layers. Now we will study from outer to inner. The organic layer, mostly organic matter such as decomposing leaves. Not only leaves but dead part of different living things can be plant or animal or human, and it is good for plants to grow because of this organic matters. The second layer is topsoil, a good material for plants and other organisms to live. Mainly the bigger plants, their roots down into the top soil and get most of materials they need from that layer. The third layer is subsoil, rich in minerals that leached move down from the organic layer and topsoil. As raining, when the soil absorbs this water, the minerals also go down to the subsoil. So the plants with their roots reach the subsoil, they can grow faster and for longer time. The fourth layer is the deposits, the earth surface from which soil is developed. In subsoil and topsoil origin is parent material while organic layer is made up of mainly dead part of living things. So we call it parent material because it's like parent for sub and topsoil. The bedrock, a mass of rocks such as granite, basalt, quartz, limestone, or sandstone that forms the parent material. So as we can see, always the deeper layer make the layer which is on its surface closer to it. Bedrock, the rocks broken down into smaller pieces to form parent material. Parent material form the subsoil and topsoil, but only organic layer is the dead part of living things. Soil with water is what source of life, not only for plants, for all living things.